friends, and welcome back to the Woldenburn Knitting Podcast. My name is Emily, and I am here to talk to you about some knitting stuff. It's been a couple weeks since my last podcast video, maybe a little bit more than that. Life got really tough for a week or so, a little bit more than a week. Yeah, we just had a really rough week last week. It was very hard, very heavy, lots of lack of sleep, stress, anxiety, just all of the things. Everybody is safe, everybody is healthy. It was some, I hesitate to call it silly family drama, but it was a bit silly and just, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. My poor husband, poor me, like we were just on edge and stressed out the whole week. It involved some very unpleasant conversations and just ridiculousness, and I was just in no mood for filming last week, and I honestly got hardly any knitting done just because we were so stressed and on edge, and yeah, it was not a very fun time. However, this is a new week. We're almost done with another week, and it's been very much a recovery week, just trying to catch up on sleep and just feeling a bit wonky and off and just trying to get those stress levels to come back down. But I do have a few little knitting updates for you, so let's dive right in because I'd like to get this filmed so that I can sit and knit. First off, I have an almost finished object, which I'm very excited about. This is the baby cardigan that I have been testing, and the main body portion of the knitting is complete. So what I mean by that is that I have the finished cardigan here. The fronts will wrap like so, and then the bit that I have left is I need to do some I-cords, which I kind of started it, but I'm not sure. It feels like it's pulling the stitches really badly right here where I don't know if you can see that at all, but it feels like it's pulling the stitches out really badly. So I think I'm tempted to just pull it out and then just knit the I-cords separately and attach them, stitch them on. But I haven't decided. I kind of put it down for a bit just because I was trying to figure out what to do. But this is the Estelle something baby cardigan. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have it on the screen. And again, the designer is Sandra. Also can't pronounce her her name, or her channel name, not channel name, Instagram name, what's business name? That word. But it's a very sweet little wrap cardigan. I knit this out of Wonderland yarns in the Marianne colorway. It's a 85-15 fine merino wool, 15% nylon. It's technically a fingering, or this is a fingering weight. The pattern technically calls for a sport to DK. For whatever reason, with Sandra's patterns, I have such a hard time getting gauge with her designs, and so I went down a yarn size, and that worked perfectly. I was able to get gauge pretty well. My row gauge is still off, but the stitch count was fine, so I'm okay with that. And it's got these cute little sleeves, and I love the construction of this because basically you work the back, the upper back portion, then you pick up and knit one of the fronts, and then you stop and pick up and knit the other front, and then you stop, and then you pick up and knit the sleeves, and that way you can knit the sleeves flat because they're all in garter, and so you don't have to try and knit garter in the round. Then you seam up, mattress stitch the sleeves, and then you go and you pick up and combine all the stitches from both fronts and the back. And she also has you do this really cool thing where you pick up a couple of extra stitches and then you decrease pretty quickly under the arm, so that one, there's no holes, but two, there's also, she calls it like a tiny gusset under there, so that it's like, I mean, I made the 0 to 1 month size, so that tiny of a baby isn't going to need much arm movement, but I really like the detail. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it came out. I would love to get the I-cords done so that I can gift it. This is a gift for my brother who's going to have a baby later in this year. And I'm hoping that I will have enough yarn left over with completing the I-cords and everything to make a matching baby hat. I think that'd be really cute. So, we'll see. I'm holding that in one of my project bags from Susan of Delightful Works. She makes just the loveliest project bags. But yes, she gifted this to me like 2 years ago. I think it would have been 2 years ago. Because I think my baby was born at that point. My toddler. I think my toddler was born at that point. And he's almost 3. He's getting so old. Then I have a little bit of a tale of woe. This is my pink cotton Tolsta that I had said that I wasn't sure if I was going to keep working on. And then I was talking with my mom and sister about it. And my sister made some suggestions that I thought were really good. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I've kept knitting away on it. But I always knew that there was a chance that this would happen. Starting from the get-go of starting this project, I was very, very, very low on yarn. And so I only had 150 grams. And when I've knit my fingering weight Tulsa tees, they only take about 150 grams. But I went up a size. I did a size bigger than I do normally because I was trying to do a more open gauge, and I realized that with doing a more open gauge, you really can't have negative ease, particularly with cotton. And so I was trying to do it where I would have it like closely fitted, but that it would be more open, which I don't think you can really tell. So I went up a size. I did the 4th size when I normally do the 3rd size. I ran out of yarn. That's the long story short. I ran out of yarn, and it is not anywhere near long enough because my plan was to knit this so that it was a little bit cropped, and then to use this yarn, which is very close but not quite the same color, and it's ever so slightly thinner. And so I was going to use this to do like some lace detailing on the bottom and then on the sleeves. That's not going to work because where I've ended up doesn't completely even cover my bust, so it would not look right to add in lace. At this point, I needed it to be at least like a couple inches longer. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to frog it, and then I'm going to turn it into a baby blanket, which I'm totally fine doing. Like, that's absolutely fine. I'm not heartbroken over it or anything. I'm a little bummed because this is a lot of knitting time, but it's totally fine. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'll make the center this and then try and do some sort of a border and still combine the two. But it's a little bit of a bummer. It's okay. Honestly, part of me is kind of glad because I was like, you know, this was kind of a spur-of-the-moment whim project that I cast on for the Summer on the Lanai make-along that is being hosted by at least Amy. I think it's Amy and Denise. I think they're both hosting it from Two Sisters and Some Yarn. And I was like, oh, this is really cute. It's pink, it's cotton. Like, this would be great. Like, this totally fits the brief. So it wasn't necessarily like a super planned project. So yeah, I'm not completely heartbroken over that. I'll just rip it out and turn it into a baby blanket and it'll be fine. So there's that. I managed to do some work on my Doublespeak Pullover, and I am really happy about that. I've been kind of missing working on this project. I've got my crochet hook in here because I started working on the sleeves again. Let me see if I can weave it in here in such a way that it won't fall out and lose my stitch because I'm in between. I need to add a new piece of yarn. So I was on the Knitnite podcast. I've been on the Knitnite podcast the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to be able to be on it this upcoming Monday because my husband will be on call at work, and so I just need to be available in the evenings. But not this past week, but the week before, I was working on this, and look at, I've got a good chunk of the body done. Now I've got like maybe 5 or 6 inches under the arm, and that's fantastic. I tried it on. It's looking great. I'm going to start adding in just a little bit of waist decreases, so maybe like a decrease by 4 stitches every, I don't know, I'm completely pulling the numbers out of the air. But to just decrease a little bit in the waist because it's fitting beautifully over the bust and everything. I think it looks so cute, but I want to decrease it a little bit. And I've got these adorable stitch stoppers on here, which are from Amy, Pro Life Knitter. I will have her stitch stopper shop linked below. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm knitting this all out, or knitting and crocheting this all out of Yarn Bee Sweet Delight in a variety of colors. It's a Hobby Lobby yarn. I've had a bunch of scraps, and so when Amy was asking for testers for this project, I was like, this is perfect, and I absolutely love it. I have picked back up, did my crochet hook still fall out? It did still fall out. That's fine. No big deal. Let me just boop, 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 boop. Pull that loop up. There we go. I had done a few rounds on the sleeve in granny stitch, but then I was also doing decreases, and then when I tried it on, I realized I had decreased much too rapidly, and so it was making this weird like pooch under the arm in the fabric. So last night I pulled a bunch of those rounds out and then redid it, and then I need to reattach the brown yarn to finish up the rest of this row, and then I'm going to start doing stripes of other colors from in here. So we're going to see how that goes, and then I need to go back and rip this out because I was going to experiment with doing another round of granny squares around the arm, but I've decided not to do that. I'm just going to do the stripes. But yeah, my battery's light is flashing, so let me see if I can sneak down the hallway and get a new battery. But yes, so like I said, I'm really looking forward to that. I want to get back to working on this. I feel like because of the sleeve, I've just been really stalled on this project because I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I could tell that the sleeve is a little bit wonky, and so I'm glad that I finally ripped it out, and we're gonna get going on that, and I'm excited about it. So hopefully there will be some significant progress on that. I'm really pleased with how much I've gotten done on the body. Like, I got a good chunk done during that night. It was really lovely. So yeah, hopefully there will be some significant progress on that in the next few weeks. And then I have one more project that I wanted to share with you today, and then we're going to go ahead and sign off. I have a couple of plans and things that I'll mention in a second, but we'll get there. I am doing another test knit because I can't help myself. This is a test knit for Tellybean Knits. Stephanie, she has a lot of really beautiful patterns, and I recently got on her tester earburn list on Ravelry, and she announced that she was doing a test knit for the Bright Axis DK sweater. She has a fingering weight version already out, but this is a DK version, and it's going to be really hard to see. It's a really cool construction. It's bottom up, and then you work the yoke portion side to side. So I have finished the body portion of it, and I measured my flat tee, which is right there, patterned by Liz Clothier, to make sure that I had the length right, because that fits me so perfectly. I have some pictures, but I'm not sharing them yet. So I got the body portion done. I did that in a few days, and then I just this morning started one of the yokes. You have to work the back and the front yoke separately, and then they're like mattress stitched at the shoulder. So again, it's really hard to show. But I am using, so the main is Barocco Vintage Sock, which is an acrylic, and let me see, 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon blend. And then I am finally attempting to use, this is the, I don't even remember. I've had this in my stash for like 7-8 years, and I wasn't originally thinking I would use this for this sweater, but then I like held the colors up next to each other, and I was like, that actually works really well. So I'm excited to get a little bit further on here so I can actually see how it's really looking, but I just have decided I've had such a hard time trying to use this yarn, hence why it's been in my stash for so long, because of the way that it is dyed is just so challenging. I was going to make a Tulsa tank with it, and so I was trying alternating skeins, and it was still pooling. The yarn was pooling terribly, even though it was alternating skeins. Like, it didn't matter. because when you knit without alternating skeins, it pulls badly. Like, it is just one of the weirdest, the weirdest yarns that I've had and used. And I feel like even with holding it double, it's still like, it's very much giving a striping effect, which I don't hate. And this pattern is specifically designed to use those skeins of self-striping sock yarn. But it just, yeah, I really hope that it works and I can use it for this project, because I would love to get this out of my stash already. Like, come on. I've tried using it in a number of different projects and just struggled so much with the way that it's dyed and the color placement and everything. So I'm going to be thrilled if this works. So stay tuned for that. It's a really weird blend of like tencel and wool, I think. So yeah, it's pretty. I love the colors. It just, and I think honestly the striping effect isn't bad in this top, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm alternating skeins again, because I wasn't alternating skeins. Like, even holding it double and knitting with it was still giving me some weird pooling, so that's why I started alternating skeins. And then I started getting stripes. So it's just, it's not my favorite yarn. It was from, like, I don't know if any of you got or remember Knit Crate. I got a couple of boxes from them way back when, and this was in one of those. So yeah, that is all my knitting that I have for you today, all that I have to share. I have a couple of projects that I'm planning to start soon, but we'll talk about those in another video. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm hoping to get my second or third Shark Week vlog up and uploaded either by the time this one's done or shortly after this one comes out. So you should see a couple videos from me coming out. And then I'm actually going to be trying to get a Make 9 video done. I have been wanting to do the Make 9 thing all year. It's the Make Along hosted by Amy from Noble Character Crafts. And I just have been going back and forth on what I wanted to do for that. But I've come to the realization that I really want to do some like easy wins types of projects, and I want to put some long-term languishing projects on there. So my blanket, my garter stitch miter square blanket that I've shared a couple times here recently, and my husband's cardigan, like those are whips that are going to go on there. And then I'm going to put some sewing projects on there, and actually again over here, that is fabric right there. I need to make a birthday party dress for my boys' birthday party that's coming up in a couple weeks. Their birthdays are very close together, so we're just doing like a joint birthday party with my husband's side of the family. So I really want to make a really cute dress for that, so I think I'm going to put that on there. Like, I'm really feeling the need for some like easy check it off, because I feel like last year for the Make 9 thing, I just overthink it too much, and I try and think of like all these different projects and I put them all on there, and then I just end up making like 20 other projects rather than ones that are on my list. So I'm really trying to think through and narrow it down to 9 things, and then 9 things that I can actually complete. So stay tuned for that. A couple fun things. Holly from Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. has just put up a new podcast, and in there she shares a brand new yarn colorway and a new yarn set, like a sock set, project bag set. It's beautiful. It's based off of 21 Balloons book, which I have not read before, and now I need to go read. But I thought I would mention that she's got a gorgeous new colorway called Ghost Riders. She's doing she's dyeing yarn for the cowboy sweater, which is a pattern designed by Cheryl from Wise Owl Knits. And Cheryl is hosting a knit along starting Labor Day for the cowboy sweater. And so there's just a lot of lovely things coming up with that. The cowboy sweater pattern is currently on sale for, I believe, 15% off. It's a beautiful design. Highly recommend you check it out. I probably will not have time to do that because color work is not my strongest point when it comes to knitting. I'm trying to get better at it, but I'm not going to dive into a whole sweater thing. But yeah, I highly recommend you check that out. Check out Holly's yarn, like her Ghost Riders colorway. I want it. I want a sweater's quantity because a blue sweater, it would be stunning. I absolutely love it. And then just her 21 Balloons colorway is, oh my goodness. It's a sock set, but I'm just like, again, a sweater in that colorway would be to die for. And that 21 balloons set comes with an adorable project bag from Susan of Delightful Works and an amazing Progress Keeper stitch marker from Elizabeth from EBandCoUS, which is a beautiful shop with stitch markers. I don't think I have one with me right now. But she makes, or maybe I do, maybe there's one in here. She makes the most adorable, oh, I do have a couple. They're from Holly's Advent calendar, not last year, the year before. And Elizabeth just makes these really intricate beaded like Progress Keepers. They're amazing. So I have that one. I have a number of them now because I've purchased a couple from her. And then I also got Holly's Advent calendar. And so we did like a swap one year. I think it was for this one, but it's Proro's mustache, and I absolutely love that. But yeah, so Elizabeth has some amazing stitch markers. I'll have her direct shop link down below, but also check out Holly's shop for the sets. They're beautiful. And then Shauna from Shauna Stitches has been doing a series on the Stephen West mystery sock knit along, and it's been really fun to watch those, so I thought I would give her a little shout out, just because it's really fun watching her knit it, because I would absolutely never knit that sock. One, I'm really not in a sock mood right now. I'm kind of over socks for the moment, just because I've had some issues with gauge and getting them to do what I want them to do, and my gauge is so loose, and then they wear out so quickly and blah blah blah. But it's really fun watching her knit the socks because they are just wild. But I think that's all that I have to talk about. Be sure to check out the Knitnite podcast. The last couple of episodes, yours truly has been on there. So that's been really fun, and I'm hoping to continue to participate in that. My husband made some comment after the first time and I was on there, and he was like, you should do this every week. And I was like, I will hold you to that. I will absolutely do this every week if I can. Or every 3 weeks I can't, because my husband will be on call. So it'll be like, there for 2, off for 1, there for 2, off for 1. But anyway, so I hope that you all are having a wonderful start to your August so far. And like I said, we've got some busy birthday stuff coming up, and it's just going to be a little bit crazy, but it's a wonderful way to kind of end out the summer. Are you ready for fall? I am very ready for fall, but trying to enjoy the last bit of summer. And yeah, I'm just rambling now, so I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!